Hello and welcome to my channel. In today's video, it is a Friday, so I will be doing my podcast. And for those of you who are kind of new to my channel, I put a podcast out because not everyone has the time to really watch a video. You know, with a podcast, you can listen to it whilst running. You know, there's going to be nothing to show, just the same screen. In today's podcast, I really want to address the question of, does spot matter? I get a lot of people say spot is this and spot is that. You know, it's the be all and end all. Why should I pay this when spot is that? And the truth is, these people, I believe, don't really understand the complexities of the market. Once you break down the market and you understand the individual components of it, it's easy to see why I will pay above spot. And it's easy to see what coins I will pay less for and what coins I will pay more for. Now, I don't want to completely disregard spot. I believe it has a very important function in society. So you need a common target, maybe, or a common price for everyone to benefit from the whole industry. It keeps the industry in check, and it helps with supply and demand. So for example, if you're a miner and you're getting out of the ground and spot goes up by 20%, the chances are you might want to mine quicker. You know, if you're a trader and spot moves, there's implications for it. So when times are tough, you might pay more for your coins. So we've recently seen with the virus that dealers were paying around 5% under to 3% under, and some of them are now paying spot. Well, what happens is they just move the goalpost and they charge more on the coins. Now, I'm going to highlight two reasons why spot matters and why you can really make good money by understanding that in certain parts of the market it's very important, and other parts of the market it's not so important. So if you're a generalist dealer and you buy and sell for a living, you live and die by the spread. So spot is fundamentally very important. So for a gold coin, they might pay, let's say 3% under, because that was the going rate, and they might sell it for 3% over. All they got to do is make their spread. However, I don't think spot's the be all and end all, because when you understand the mechanisms of certain coins, you know that you can buy for 3% over and make lots of money on top. You know, there's very few companies that are great buyers and great sellers. You know, Hat and Garden Metals has tried to do it recently. I was on the phone to them earlier. This set that's on my screen, I bought from them. You know, I think there's about £150 profit in it for me. The reason I put it on the screen is to highlight that spot is not the be all and end all. When they've charged spot plus maybe 8 or 10%, I can still squeeze maybe another £150 out of it, potentially. You know, it might be more, it might be less. So if you're a specialist, spot doesn't really matter. So if you really know your onions, spot is just the baseline. If you're a generalist, spot is more important because it dictates everything you do. Now, if you're not a coin nut and you don't really know values, spot is very, very important because you will buy for X and sell for Y. If you're a specialist, you will buy for X and the price will be completely different because you can find the market where it's most valuable. So I've often bought gold coins at either spot price or just over spot price, and I found a buyer for them, and spot price doesn't matter because the market dictates the price, and the market could be there could be many reasons why the market has come to that price. It could be rarity, it could be grade, you know, it could be the coins are in vogue, they could be shipwreck coins. There's many different determinants of what will dictate the price apart from spot. Spot is just the baseline. It's the baseline that the generalists will keep going back to, where the specialists are not really that bothered about it. Now, another thing I wish to highlight is the art of arbitrage. So wherever you go in the world, there's going to be certain coins that they're super competitive in pricing due to home field advantage. Spot is very important. For the generalist, the people who deal with these coins are generalists. So let's take, for example, a 20 franc gold coin or a sovereign. Now the spread's going to be it's going to be very lean. There's not going to be much in it because someone selling to one of these dealers can sell for a good price because there's many people that will buy that type of coin. There's nothing saying you can't take a franc or a sovereign to another part of the world and sell it for more. There's many ways, there's many coins that I do this with. For example, the 2 peso and the 2.5 peso. The market in the UK is spot plus 20, and that's from the generalists. You're only really going to find these types of coins from shards and occasionally some of the other online dealers. Very few places stock it. Now, one of my suppliers, he gets it really cheap. He buys them 200 at a time. It's not a problem for him. The spread is very, very lean for him. He's a generalist, so I'm buying from a generalist where spot is the be all and end all. He lives and dies by the sword. He just has to make the spread. I'm more the specialist because I buy and sell international gold coinage. I make my money on these coins because I'm the cheapest person in the market because I've bought from a generalist. I hope that kind of makes sense. Now, I'm not saying spot isn't important. It is. I'm just saying that there's certain situations where spot doesn't really matter. Now, if you don't know what you're doing, you always revert back to spot. So if I'm buying gold coins I don't know the market, I know there's not a buyer, I'm not going to offer the person a good price. Now, if someone offers me a coin where I know it's a bit niche, I potentially have a buyer, I'm more than happy to pay way over spot, knowing if I can make the spread due to the collectability of the coin. That really is not a problem. All you are is you have to decide as your own individual market maker whether you're a specialist or a generalist, and you have to decide how you're going to buy and sell. If you know you're going to sell in a peer-to-peer market, spot is not as important because you can get more out of when you sell. I'll give you an example. I've recently been buying silver ounces for £21 an ounce. It's over spot. If I get maybe 25 out of them, I've done very well. You know, if I was to buy from a dealer, he's going to charge me more and he's going to buy off me for less. But I've just said spot is the baseline. I will pay above it because the other dealers are not paying above it, and I will sell what I'm comfortable with making, and that's perfectly fine. You also have to decide, if you are going to go down the dealer route, you have to decide how you're going to buy, because you don't want to be a specialist, which i.e. is a collector, and sell to a generalist. It doesn't work. You're going to lose a lot of money unless the price of gold and silver goes up, because if you end up selling it, I would recommend going to the peer-to-peer market. I would recommend going to an auction house. I would recommend going to a specialist coin dealer, because they're going to take into account the actual values of the coins. They don't play by the same rules as the bullion dealers. So if you're a specialist selling to a generalist, spot matters. You know, if you're a generalist selling to a specialist, you're actually going to win on that one. If you're worried about not getting the correct price for your specialist coins, take it to an auction house. That's my podcast for today. I hope it's been of help. I hope it's kind of given you some ideas. Do you think that spot is the be all and end all? In some markets it will be, in other markets it won't. But you need to understand the difference between the type of coins you buy and the type of people you sell to. They are fundamentally very, very important topics that you need to consider. And if you get it wrong, spot is going to matter. And if you don't get it wrong, spot isn't going to matter. So take care, guys. Bye.